guys, welcome to Creations by Karen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a memory ornament. I had a friend who recently lost her sister, and so this is something that I normally would do at Christmas time, but she asked specifically for these ornaments. I think she's going to be giving them out to people who are attending or who can't attend the service. It is during the COVID-19 pandemic, and so they're very limited on the number of people that they can have at the funeral. So I think what she wanted to do was give these to people that really would be unable to attend the service. So what you're going to need is, I got these, actually these are plastic ornaments that I got at Michael's in the wintertime. I think I got them on sale at the end of the season. And so what I'm going to do is just take the lids off of all of these ornaments. So we'll go ahead and do that. Pretty easy craft to make. Really, really popular at my Christmas craft shows, which is good and bad, I guess. Yeah, so the first thing you're going to do is just take all these lids off. And I'm making 9 at one time, just because that's how many she asked me for. So you don't need to rinse these out or anything like that. You can just simply start going on them. So you're going to need some feathers. These feathers I got at Michael's. And I think the most important thing to remember for this particular craft is it's really all about the feather that is inside the ornament. And so I'm really quite particular when I'm going through and looking at the different feathers, and I like one that's, you know, really kind of fluffy but is substantial. So what I'm going to do is just clip sort of, I don't know, maybe make it 1.5 inches or 2 inches, and then I'm just going to take this feather and slip it inside the ornament, just like that. Okay. So when they're looking at it, they do see the feather, and so that's, I think, really important to choose feathers that, you know, are pretty and light and feathery. Just going to go ahead and fill all these with the feathers. I know some people, when they were making these, I did a workshop on these, and they got boas from, I think, Dollarama or Dollar Tree. I live in Canada, so it's kind of a popular dollar store here. But I didn't like them as much because the feathers were a little... So you wouldn't want to put that one in because it's not fluffy where this one is. And although this doesn't seem like very much work goes into this, there's not very much work into this at all. But the sentiment that behind it is very impactful for people who have suffered a loss and just want something to remember their loved ones by. And this isn't something that you actually could use at Christmas time. I've made them for people, and they keep them out all year. And just, I'll show you something that I've seen them do. It's a nice one too. Just need a couple more. And just one more. It's a nice one too. Lucky I didn't have to go through too many in order to find feathers that that I was happy with. Okay, so I have the feathers and all of the ornaments that I am making. And I'm just going to put those aside and just get rid of these. Yes, there's a little bit of waste, but it's all good. And I'll just take these out as well. So then I'm just going to replace the caps that are in there. Okay, so these are pretty much ready to go. And I'm just going to put them aside for a moment. Now these come with a little tag on them. And what I do is just go to my office and print these out. You can do this at home, I guess. This one says, "A feather from an angel is one we rarely see, and this one is quite different and special as can be. This feather is a reminder of a special person's love, guiding and protecting you from heaven above." All right? So all I want to do really with these is just to cut each one. I have quite a few on one page, but I'm just going to, I need 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll cut these off here. And you just want to cut them so all you see is really the phrase. So you don't want too much background on it. Try to make these as straight as you can. This aside. And you're just going to cut them so you have them individual. See, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 3 more. And you can certainly put different colored feathers on them in them if you want, if they had a favorite color. I did some for a friend of mine who wanted pink feathers, and Michael's has a large selection of different colored feathers. There we go. So I would try to stay away from the boas that you can get at Dollar Tree or Dollarama. It's just, the feathers aren't really that nice, and I think you really need to make them pretty. So the next thing you're going to do is cut out some cardstock. So I already cut one out of here. And then I just got one of these cutters. And I can't even remember where I got it from. I want to say Michael's, but I've had this for a long time because I've been making these for years for my craft show. But I think it comes in different sizes, and I do believe I got this one at Michael's. So you just want to cut out 9 off the cardstock. And you can get different colors of cardstock as well. Whatever you want. I like gray because I've always used gray, I guess. And then what you want to do is just glue this saying onto the cardstock. And I just want to make sure I've got, there's only one side to it. So, and you're just going to glue that down into the center of your cardstock. So that's what it's going to look like. And I got to do 9 of them. So give me 1 second. You want to make them as centered as you can. I'll probably make, I don't know, 400 or 500 for the season for my craft shows. Very popular. Very inexpensive to make. You always want to make sure that you get these ornaments though when they're on 2 for 1 or half price or at the end of the season, because I think they're like $30 for 32, which is really just a little more than $1 a piece, but I only charge $5 for them, so I try to get as many as I can out of it. And then what I like to do, so there's my 9 done, is I get these little, I like to call them my little diamond things, and I just like to put one on one corner, and that's just something I like to do. You don't have to do this, but, and these are self-adhesive. Just pick them off. I just like to put it on the bottom corner. Just adds a little glitter to it. I guess it's a signature thing for me. And you can get these at Michael's as well, or I think I've seen them at the dollar stores here, but these are very pretty, and kind of a person of repetition. I like to do the same thing because people come back year after year to get them. All right, so got them all on there. Just gonna tack this back. Sorry. All right, and I'm just going to put it to the side. Now, I do need to get my hole punch. Give me 1 moment. Sorry about that. I wasn't intending to go live. So then you want to just make a small hole at that one end. Try not to get too close to the edge. There we go. All my tags are ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to need is fine white ribbon, and I'm going to cut 9 pieces. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches long, and I'm just going to fix the tag to the ornament itself. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I was just making 9 because I just ran out of it. There we go. And I'm going to get my ornaments that I've made. Yes. And you're just going to tie this around. What I like to do is just make a circle because I really don't want it to be twisted. And just affix it to it, and you'll hear a little click. And it's kind of going underneath the top part. Once again, if you wanted to, you could use colored ribbon, I guess. I kind of like to keep it white. And one more. This is the short one. Okay. And you're going to take your little tags that you've made, and you're just going to tie it onto the ribbon that you've affixed to the ornament. This is the one that's really short, so it'll give it a little trouble. And you just tie it in a knot. Just one knot is fine. Just make sure that it's facing outward and not at the back. I think sometimes you can start getting these ornaments at Michael's in September. I think they come out in September, but luckily I was able to pick up a bunch of them at the end of the season last year, which is something that I usually do when I'm making these every year. So I always manage to get as many as I can. I think I have about 500 for this year, so that'll be good. And it never fails. It's one of my top sellers at my craft shows. Oops, that came off. You know, when you've done something good is the next year you come and somebody's made that same craft that you made, which can be flattering, but because I make them in volume, it can be a bit more cost effective for me. Thus I keep my prices really low. Okay. And I'll make trays of these. These are really good things to hold them. I get these from the grocery store. I guess that's what apples come in. And I make a lot of ornaments at Christmas time. And this holds them perfect. Quite particular on the ornaments that I use. And I always want to make sure I use shatterproof ornaments. Simply because, you know, the last thing I would want is someone to injure themselves on an ornament that broke. So I try to, as much as I can, use shatterproof ornaments. All right, so all my tags are on, like so. I'm just going to cut these off, the extra ribbon I have. Now, it's important to come as close to the knot as you can, but you don't want to overdo that because then you have to go back and reattach it if you cut it too short. And it is going to be covered up with a bow, so just be careful when you're cutting this that you're not cutting the actual knot that you've made to attach it to. You can get this ribbon anywhere. I get most of it at Michael's. They always have it on sale, and I pick up as much as I can as I need a lot of it. Okay, so all the ends of the ribbon is cut off, so now you're just left with the ornament and the tag. And the last thing we're going to do is make some bows. So I like to use this ribbon. It's about 1/4 inch. And I just have to make 9 bows. So you're just going to make a bow like you normally would. And just clip it off. think I could get this ribbon for 33 cents a spool when it's on sale at Michael's. Two more. Last one. That. Now we're just going to fix the bow to the ornament. And I'm just going to use hot glue to do that. Got my handy hot glue gun here. And you don't need very much glue at all. You just put a little dab on the back. And you're just going to go over top of that knot that you've made so you can't see it. Need two more. Just want to make sure you use sharp scissors because you don't want frayed edges on your bow. Last one. Like that. Now what you can do is you can just put some, you can use silver string that you can apply here for them to hang it. But basically that's it. That is your memory ornament made with plastic ornament. You're going to use cardstock for the tag, and white ribbon, and that's it. So I made 9 of these in a very short period of time. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Certainly hit subscribe and like if you'd like to see more crafty tutorials. I upload tutorials usually on Sundays and Thursdays. Anyways, glad I could have you here today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.